Hey guys, welcome back. Today we have another tool review video. Last week you saw us compare some ratchets. Today we're going to do some impacts. So we have a kind of a pro level, mid-price Makita impact. I'm not exactly sure what the motor is or what the model is. And then this is a like beginner, novice slash like bordering on DIY level Hart impact. This is for
so kind of beginner and then like hardcore DIY or like maybe a lower contractor, because this is not the best one. So we're gonna go over the Makita first, and then we'll get to the Hart, and then we'll be doing some testing, and we're gonna show off with various screws, a little bit leg nuts or leg bolts, and then we're gonna do these roofing screws, and then we'll show you guys how long it takes to drive 3 2.5-inch deck screws, and we'll just talk about which one we like. So we'll get into the features of the Makita up next. Okay guys, we're going to get into the features of this Makita impact driver. So this is not a brand new impact. I've had this for 2 years now. Got this in a kit with a brushless hammer drill. So this model number exactly is the XDT13. You guys can see it right there. This is a brushless single speed, as in it doesn't have like the modes. I believe the old, or not the old, but the better one, the more expensive one is like XDT14. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but it has the different modes down here. So basically this is the modeless one, and there's one that looks just like that isn't brushless. It's slightly cheaper. This one for tool only at Home Depot currently is $122 without a battery, without a charger, and you can get a kit for $150, and that comes with a 3-amp-hour battery and a charger. I'd probably recommend going for that. This guy actually got the kit I got it when was only $200. It was a good deal, but these are 2-amp-hour battery I have here. So you can use this with any Makita LXT 18-volt battery. This is the 2-amp-hour, but we'll get into the features real quick. So it has the retaining the 1/4-inch chuck.
collet.
Yeah, so we'll just put a bit in real quick.
It's actually a quick entry,
So yeah, you don't have to pull the chuck or the collet up when you put a bit in, so it just slides in, but then it retains, and then you just pull it, and then you pop the bit out. So that's pretty nice. I like that you don't have to worry about putting it in, because it just makes bit changes a lot easier. Overall, this thing, weight-wise, is pretty good with just the 2-amp-hour battery. Obviously, it's going to be heavier if you run like a 5.0 on here. Tool only, it's very light. Batteries obviously add quite a bit of weight. But the battery, once it's clipped in, it's super solid. Feels really good. The batteries, all Makita batteries are really nice, by the way. The ergonomics, I would say, are great. I mean, I don't really think any handle would be a little bit like, I haven't tested like everything in the market, like different brands. Like I haven't had a Milwaukee impact or anything, so I can't tell you about the ergo versus that. But ergo, it's very comfortable. I like the head. It's not too long. It's not too heavy. It's pretty well balanced. Like the battery feels like its heaviest point, which is kind of natural if you're impacting into something like vertically or horizontally. And it has this nice tool belt clip. I definitely use this. This is pretty nice. It's very sturdy. And yeah, so it just goes reverse direction with the clicker. Middle is basically a lockout when you pop it in there, so I'm trying to pull the trigger, nothing. But it goes either way, and then this trigger is obviously variable speed, so you pull it, you know, it's good, slower, faster. So yeah, pretty basic, very basic impact, but it is brushless. It's pretty darn powerful, and we'll show you guys how powerful it is in a minute. We'll get onto the Hart next.
Alright guys, today we have my Hart. We just saw the Makita. This is a 20-volt version instead of the 18, but I'm assuming it's just kind of overestimated.
That's basically like peak power.
That's like peak power.
Like that's not how much it
right
draws,
off the charger.
Like DeWalt does the same advertising. Yeah.
Unfortunately, the only way to know if this is fully charged is if you have it on the charger.
There's no battery gauge.
There's no battery gauge on the front or back. It unclips just like the Makita. You just press down the front and pull it out, and then it slides in pretty similar. The battery, connections are definitely different, but just slide that back in, clicks in. It's pretty solid. There's a tiny bit of wiggle. This is unfortunately, this only comes with when you buy the kit, which is $80 from Walmart, only exclusively at Walmart. It only comes with a 1.5-amp-hour battery, and then a very not so good charger that has no real display. It has a forward and reverse speeds. There is a lockout in the middle, just like the Makita. Unfortunately, this does not have a quick insert collet. It has just a standard where you have to pull out, push the bit in, and then let go. I'll show that right now. Impact driver bit, put this in. Can't push it in, it will just fall out, so you have to pull in the collet, push it in, and it's done.
So it's like a two-hand function to put it in versus a one-hand kind of.
It does have good bit retention, but pull this out. The model number is HPIDO1VM, as you can see right there. I believe this is a brush motor.
Yeah, it doesn't advertise brushless at all, so we're assuming it's a brush motor.
Yeah, it doesn't say anywhere on it that it's brushless, as far as I know. So it's a brush motor, and it which unfortunately wear out, while brushless don't, and it's a little bit bigger in size.
We'll compare. Well, let me go grab the Makita real quick. This is the head size versus each other. Just set that down. And then you guys can kind of see that head is
much
pretty
bigger.
Significant, about 1.5 inches longer.
But they do have very similar.
It's also a little bit taller, but
they have very similar specs. I've actually had this Hart for coming up on a year. I've used it to put up shelves. You know, it's kind of what it's meant for. You're not really supposed to do any actual work with it. Just around the house stuff. Unfortunately, it's very loud.
Yeah.
It does have a
variable
speed drill. Again, this, like the Makita, is a single speed, so you can't change it to like 1 or 2. There's no other gauges. It does have this LED light, which is
the bottom.
Poorly placed. It is right at the bottom. It stays on for about 10 seconds after
you pull the
releasing,
trigger.
which I think is the same for the Makita. But
Yeah,
the
we
Makita
forgot to mention the light, but the Makita light
has
is
one
like
up
right
here.
below the collet area, and it's a little bit more placed, so when you're drilling a screw, it's a little bit better lit.
The ergonomics, I mean, it feels pretty good in your hand. The top of this part of the handle is a little too wide, so if you have smaller hands, you might want to go with something else.
It like kind of upsizes up to the top of the grip.
The decent part is that this is much cheaper than most everything on the market, but all right.
Solid. Oh yeah, it's also quite a bit heavier.
It's much heavier. So
the top is really heavy.
The battery is actually very light, because it's only 1.5 amp hour, and the head is very heavy.
It kind of almost feels like a little hammer.
It's basically a hammer that has a motor inside of it. So we'll get. That's about it for the Hart. We'll get back to.
We'll be testing.
We'll compare the Makita
screws and.
We'll do a time trial. So how long it takes to drive in 3
2.5 inch.
2.5 inch deck screws, and then we'll do a head to head with these 2 roofing screws. And the final challenge is to see if you can drive in this lag bolt,
and we'll see how long that takes as well.
If you can, see how long it takes.
So we'll get into the
come
testing
right
next. Okay, guys, we're gonna get to the 3 2.5 inch wood / deck screws. These aren't like real discs, like they're not coated or anything, but these are 2.5 inch standard wood screws here, and we're gonna drive 3 of them, see how long it takes with the phone timer right here. I'm gonna start it, and we're just using a DeWalt MaxFit bit that's been kind of used, so this is not like a super. I mean, the bits will be the same. We use the same bit for each one. Remember, this is a 2 amp hour battery, fully topped up, 4 bars right there on the Makita. And these are just started. They aren't driven down at all.
They're about like half thread, maybe like 2 threads.
Yeah, like maybe 1/8 of an inch in there, just to so I don't have to, because that would affect the time if I have to worry about getting started. So I'll just kind of, this timing isn't going to be perfect, but I'm going to try to put equal force for both this and the Hart impact and each screw. So. Okay, as you guys can see, I kind of fudged the timing a little bit, and I goofed on that second one. But obviously, it was very quick. I mean, I drilled it, no problem.
12 seconds, 0.41.
And this is a, this is just a standard 2x4 on tire, and this is a pressure treated 2x4. I mean, this isn't like simulating anything. This is just showing what we're going into.
It's like putting wooden cedar boards down into
like a, maybe drilling into like studs like together, basically two 2x4s.
Yeah.
Or similar to drilling into a 4x4. So
yeah.
We will start with the Hart next. Okay, guys, we're here with the Hart now. We're gonna test it. Same timer setup. Obviously, the times aren't perfect. By the way, obviously, you saw I goofed the second screw with the Makita, but this battery is a 1.5 amp hour battery. This is what came with it. So Makita has a ever so slightly larger battery, and this battery is also full. So we're gonna get started. Same exact bit we just used on the Makita, and we'll get started.
You drilled 3 new pilot holes,
and these are just started just like the Makita. These 3 screws. So we will start. So technically that time was actually faster, 12.21. But if you actually watch the screws go down, you can definitely tell that this Makita slams this. I mean, just punches them. This thing kind of feels, you can feel this bog down once it starts to get into that impact. It's definitely plenty fast enough. This thing probably, I mean, this could do, I mean, I'm sure you could build a deck with this, but this one would probably be a little bit nicer.
You could build 1 deck with that. You could build like 800 decks with that.
So, yeah, so the time, if you guys want to reference the time, technically this was faster, but I think I went a bit smoother there with the...
You know, I think it was a couple tenths of a second
Yeah,
faster.
so the other one was 12.43 for the Makita and 12.21 for this, so the time was like upset, but if you guys watch the tape, you can see that the actual drilling, once you get started, I mean, the Makita is definitely quicker. So we will get into the head-to-head, which will kind of show off a little bit better. We're going to drive these 1/4 inch roofing screws, sheet metal screws, whatever you want to call them, into here, and we'll drill a shallow pilot hole for each one. So we'll get into that next.
Today we are gonna do a head-to-head. So we have 2 1/4 inch roofing oh shit.
Whoa, jeez.
2 1/4 inch roofing screws. Both bits have 2 1/4 inch or 1/4 inch.
Both
bits.
impact drivers have a 1/4 inch nut driver here. They're a little bit different, but they're both 1/4 inch.
This
size.
one is actually a Hart, so it's
That's actually Hart, and that's a little DeWalt one I have. So
let's get to it.
Cameron will try
Both
to put equal weight.
batteries?
Yeah, both the batteries. Just all they did was drive their respective 3 screws that we just did in the last test. So
So
we'll do a head-to-head.
Both in forward mode.
And
Both
it's gonna be quick here. And I guess I'll just say go, and he will pull the trigger here.
Good.
You guys can see the up close. It'll be quick. Go. And as you can see,
Yeah, the Makita beat
the
it.
Makita
If you look, that was the same amount of time,
roasted.
and it like drove it all the way down the wood.
Significantly deeper.
Well, this is all the way up at the surface.
And both these had the same like washers and stuff. These were both brand new screws, so they hadn't been driven before.
See the nut busting power. Okay, that one did pretty well. Whoa. That one was way quicker. It almost shot out.
Definitely a little bit quicker on the Makita there. It's that brushless power and the slightly larger battery. So the final test here, we'll get into this.
Lag bolt.
It's probably a 1/4 inch thick, and it's about 2 inches long. Not crazy. I mean, I'm sure these are both capable of that. I mean, I'm sure you can drive like 4-inch lag bolts with these things, really, if you just took the time. So we'll get into this. We'll drill a small pilot hole, and then we will time them.
Yep, and I'll drill with the Hart, and he'll drill with Makita.
Okay, we'll start with the Makita. Okay, guys, so we're with the lag bolt test right here. We already showed the specs of the lag bolt. It's a 7/16 head, by the way. Got the nut driver on here on the Makita. Battery, after those 2 tests, is still 4 bars, no problem. Battery life on this guy is pretty good. Got, I think these are 8, we drilled 2 1/8 pilot holes for this 1/4 inch lag bolt here. It's in forward motion. I'm just going to start it barely, just to get it started like that. And then Cameron's going to time in his hand, and he will we'll show the time at the end. So hopefully it's accurate. And once I start driving, once I pull the trigger, he will start timing. So you want to say like go?
Yeah.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go. All right. That was 3.7 seconds.
Pretty impressive. That roasted that. I mean, this wasn't anything crazy, but this is definitely more demanding application than just a simple like wood screw. So
now we'll move on to the Hart and see how it does in comparison. See if it can even get it into the hole. All right, guys, time for the final test. I have the Hart here with a fully charged battery. Just took it off the charger. The same DeWalt 7/16 driver bit and a 7/16 lag bolt and a new pilot hole. It is started literally the exact same as the last one. So we're going to see how it goes. He's going to count me down from 3.
And I am timing, so...
He's going to count me down from 3, and then that's when I'll start.
What was the time last time?
3.7 seconds.
3.7 seconds for the Makita, so let's see how...
It's time to beat.
3, 2, 1, go! Okay. We have 3.98. However, the head wasn't really driven all the way.
You can't really see it, so...
That's how, like, the...
All the way in there.
Okay, now you just roasted it. Anyways, so...
It's
did
a little...
it feel like it bogged down or anything, or...
It bogged down a little bit. I would definitely go with the Makita just because it's, like, consistent, full power all the time.
The Makita is like a smoother driving action. It almost just is like butter.
This vibrates your hand.
But it's definitely not slow. I mean,
It'll do the job. It'll do the job.
So, yeah. So we'll get into our final kind of opinion of each one
thoughts,
next.
What you should choose and why. And then that'll be it.
Okay, guys. We are here at the end of the video. Thank you for watching to the end here. And we're going to talk about our opinions and kind of our thoughts on each of these two wonderful impact drivers here. So I'll start with my opinions on the Makita. So this thing has been a pretty good workhorse for me. So durability, I know the durability is pretty solid. I haven't done anything crazy, you know. I'm not like a tradesman or anything. I'm not using this every single day, but I've done some pretty serious work. I've used it on automotive projects as well as building. In this whole shop, I actually drove all the screws in the floor on this plywood. This 3/4 inch OSB in here, and it took it like a champ, and that was on one battery. So I think this thing is a very respectable, you know, tool, and for the price, it's not bad. If you can spring for like maybe the 3-mode, the even better Makita one, go for it. But this one definitely can do, I guarantee, everything that one probably could. Maybe that one's a little more powerful. But if you want more power, you can get bigger batteries for this thing. It's pretty great. Ergonomically, it's great. Nice compact size. Everything I would say is very solid. If I could give this a rating, it'd probably be like a 9 out of 10. Like, just especially for the price, it's pretty good. And my opinion on the Hart, I would say this thing is definitely more budget friendly. Coming at $80 for the kit is really good. You get a charger. Charger seems to be a little slower. This guy, I forgot to mention, the Makita chargers, by the way, are super fast. You can charge this 2 ampere battery like completely dead in probably 45 minutes, mostly dead from like 30 minutes, so really nice chargers. But back to the Hart, the handle, the fact that it gets wider at the top, I don't really love that. And then just the weight, this thing kind of feels like almost like a pneumatic, like air gun or nail gun or something. It's just gonna be kind of a pain after a while. But to do smaller project or if you just want to be on a budget, I think this thing is totally viable. Just a few little things like the collet, can't insert the bits without pulling it out. It's a little annoying, but the batteries, nothing is broken yet, and Cameron has used this quite a bit, so it's a fine tool.
All right, now for my opinion. Obviously, the Makita is better. We've seen that just a little bit here. It's much more prevalent or evident in larger bolt tests and, you know, working on automotive cars and stuff. With the Makita, my opinion is that it's great. I actually really love Makitas. I use them all the time in my work. I use like literally this exact model. The batteries are nice and simple. Press them down, pull them out, slide them back in. The one good thing about this compared to the Hart is that you can get multiple different battery sizes, and it has the quick entry collet. It's nice and compact. It is pretty evenly weighted on the hand, and is much lighter than the Hart. I like the color. It'll last you basically forever. These are available Ace Hardware online, Home Depot.
Acme Tools sells them. Ohio Power Tools sells Makita.
These are very nice. This has a battery gauge.
That's obviously very nice.
So like, oh, I probably have, I don't know, a few more minutes until I have to go charge this. Unlike this one where, it just kind of runs and then stops. And you're like, oh, guess it's dead. So, very great tool. My rating, probably 8.5 out of 10. Is there better brands? Yes. Is there better brands for the price? No. The Hart, my opinion, it's very loud. Unfortunately, I think it's a brush motor instead of a brushless, so it will wear out. And if you're using it all the time, it will wear out pretty quickly. The downside of the batteries, I think there might be a 2 or like a 2.5 amp hour battery available, but nothing bigger than that, nothing more complex. It's pretty, everything else about the battery is pretty similar. It just does not have a battery gauge, which is unfortunate. Again, like what Jacob said, the ergonomics, not very good. It has a very light battery and a very heavy head, so turning it, it's like holding like a big hammer, like one of those like 8-pound like little sledgehammers.
A mini sledge. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is not a quick entry collet, so you have to pull the collet out before you put a bit in and then release it. It has a pretty decent construction. The colors are pretty nice. It was $80 though. I know you can get some lower level tools like Ryobi or anything like that.
I mean, Ryobi is going to be similar price to this one, or maybe even a little bit more. But I know Ryobis are a bit nicer.
Like a little bit nicer. The Walmart brands they're okay. If you're gonna work around your house, perfect. My rating of the Hart, after using it for about a year, using my quad, probably a 4.5, maybe 5. Because if I'm working on anything inside, I gotta wear earplugs because it's so loud. And then outside, it shakes your hand pretty violently. So
yeah. So for us, which one I would buy with my own money? I'd all day. Like the price difference. Yeah, even this like at $150 for a kit versus $80. That sounds like a lot more. But really, for something like a tool like this, where you might even use it every single day or use it very often, even as a DIYer, I'd go with Makita. I'd go. So I give my rating for that, and if I give a rating to the Hart, I'd probably give it a 6 because it hasn't really failed at a task yet. It hasn't been able to perform, but it just kind of lacks some features and is a little less refined than the Makita.
Yeah, I would buy these all day. And if I was gonna choose between the two, the only reason I bought this is because I got a pretty good discount because I was working at Walmart when I bought it. So. That's probably about it for the video. So
thank you for checking out the video. Please let us know which one you prefer, or if you own any of these tools, or you're gonna go out and buy them. Maybe I'll leave a link in the description to this one, and maybe Kim can find a link to that one.
Yeah, I'll find a link.
Check out our other videos. We have a few other tool reviews right now, and lots of videos on quads, dirt bikes, cars. Stay tuned for more content, and please like and subscribe.
If you like these tool review videos, and you want to see something on like a drill or like a specific tool, let us know in the comments. It really helps. Or you can just DM us or whatever. You can check us out on Instagram at Jacob_Cameron_ something. Yeah. That'll be about it. Thank you. See ya.